Hey y'all, and welcome. Today I am participating in a collab about dealing with sibling conflict. If you're new here, let me take just a second to introduce myself. My name is Tiffany, and here on this channel, we are just a simple Southern family trying to show you what it looks like to live in small town USA. We would love to have you as part of the family. All you gotta do is hit that red subscribe button down below, maybe even the notification bell. And just like that, you're one of us. My friend Katie at Life in the Mundane asked me to participate in this collab, and I was happy to do it. Let me just show you real quick. These are my notes. I have been over the last week just kind of thinking about what I wanted to say, what I wanted to share. And then y'all, about an hour ago, as I'm thinking, you know what? I got this. I'm feeling good about it. I hear a kid screaming from the other room, crying, because little brother has decided to whop him upside the head. My kids don't fuss. Oh, that's what I like to call it, fuss. They don't fuss a lot. But I sat there in that moment being like, Lord, am I even worthy? Like, am I worthy to share how to deal with sibling conflict? I think I am. And I think I've got some good tips and advice for you. Well, let me just tell you. I have 3 kiddos, in case you didn't know. I have a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 4-year-old. But some of these mamas that are participating in this collab have 6, 8, 12 kids. So there's going to be all kinds of good advice. I'll make sure the playlist is linked down in the description box. And y'all, even if you don't have kids, even if you're watching this and you don't have kids, or you think, we got this conflict thing under control, go ahead and watch and take in the information. Store it in your brain for a rainy day. And y'all, even if you don't have kids, it's still good advice for us as adults. Let me go on and tell you, we don't all parent the same. We don't all agree with each other on everything. We don't all have the same opinions. And that's okay. I'm just here to tell you what we're doing and what works for us. So how do we deal with conflict in our home? Well, I think the first thing I need to tell you is that I don't think conflict is a bad thing. Conflict in and of itself is not a bad thing. You heard me right. We've kind of been given this misinterpretation of conflict, that it's something negative. But like I mentioned, we all have differing opinions and we all see things differently, and that's okay. Conflict's bound to happen. We're bound to have disagreements with others. We just need to know how to handle it properly. And I feel like as a mama, that's my job to teach my kids how to handle conflict properly. Because y'all, either mama can teach them now or life's going to teach them later on. Mama don't swoop in and fix every little fuss, every little fight, every little conflict, every little misunderstanding. I don't do it. I try to teach my kids how to handle it, and I at least give them a chance to handle it themselves. Because if I don't teach them now, later on down the road, they're going to have a rude awakening when life teaches it to them. I promise you, mama is a much easier teacher than life will be. My babies, and Justin would say, Tiffany, they're not babies. They're not babies, but they're my babies, y'all. My babies are going to grow up to be adults that are going to deal with conflict in their workplace, with their spouse, with their neighbor across the road. It's going to happen. They need to know how to handle it, and they need to form positive habits now so that they can handle it now and later on in life. So what are we teaching them? What tools are we giving them to help them be able to properly handle conflict? Well, the first thing is we are a biblical-based home. So we're trying to teach our kids that the Bible will give them the answers if they just take the time to search it out. If they just take the time and have the initiative to learn what the Bible says. And y'all, even if you're not Christian, let me just tell you something. The Bible will teach you how to be a decent human being. I said it. I'm not going to turn this into a Bible study. I'll make sure to link some verses down in the description box that you can check out. But I do have 2 that I want to share with you real quick. The first one is Proverbs 16:24. Pleasant words are as an honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones. Proverbs is probably my favorite book of the Bible. Ruth is right up there with it, but I like Proverbs. I've done 2 Bible studies on Proverbs just in the last, maybe the last year. I really like it. There's a lot to learn from Proverbs. So if you don't know, King Solomon wrote this. And King Solomon, he was given the opportunity to ask for anything. Anything. And he didn't ask for wealth. He didn't ask for health. He asked for discernment and ruling God's people. He asked for wisdom, y'all. He asked for wisdom. And because he asked for wisdom, God gave him all the things, as we like to say. He gave him all the things. But he gave him more wisdom than we could possibly fathom, more wisdom than we could possibly understand. And King Solomon felt it important to tell us that our words are sweet to the soul. Pleasant words are sweet to the soul and health to the bones. Pleasure and profit. Sweet to the soul, it makes you feel good, and health to the bones. It literally does good for you. Literally does good for your health to speak pleasant words. It does good for you, and it does good for the ones hearing it. Teach it to your kids. The next one is Ephesians 4:32. And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. And this is Paul talking to the church. He's spent the first 3 chapters telling them what God has done for them, how great and mighty and wonderful he is. And then he says, now here's your job. Forgive and be kind. I'm just kind of condensing everything right there. Forgive even as God has forgiven you. If that ain't a slap in the face, I don't know what is. Teach it to your kids. All right, Tiffany, so you've taught your kids that the Bible is a tool to use in conflict and how to handle conflict and teaching them how to treat other humans. What other tools are you giving them? Well, around here, we stick to a schedule. Some days. Even when we're not following our strict schedule, my kids still have been taught how to play together and play alone. Even when we're not following our schedule, they still get both of those things in. They play well together. We've always kind of taught them to play well together. Even our almost 11-year-old can play well with our 4-year-old. And y'all, older kids can be great teachers and great helpers with younger kids. I think God intended it that way. We've also taught them how to play alone. They don't need to always be depending on someone else for their entertainment. Because guess what? That just leads to more conflict. That just leaves room for more conflict. They need to know how to entertain themselves, how to be able to sit down and do something alone and enjoy it. Teach them from an early age. And y'all, don't think it's too late. Don't think it's too late. We're still trying to figure this out too, okay? No one's perfect. Remember, it's about forming healthy habits. And it may take a little more effort if you've not started this from the beginning, but it's never too late. It's never too late. We've also taught our kids that quiet time is essential. It's essential for them, and it's essential for mama. Rest equals better attitudes for everyone. And some days they fight it, especially the 4-year-old. Some days he does not want quiet time. Some days he does not want to rest. But guess what? He's not the one who gets to decide. I'm still his mama, and I still understand what is best for him. And I can guarantee you, on the days where he gets his quiet time and on the days where he gets his rest, he is a much more pleasant person because of it. I'm a much more pleasant person when I get my rest too. And then the last thing I kind of wanted to point out is that we have tried to teach our kids that they get our attention through positive experiences instead of negative, through positive behavior instead of bad behavior. Y'all, kids, you can disagree with me, and that's all right, but kids sometimes misbehave and act up just to get your attention. Sometimes what could be a healthy conflict blows way out of proportion if they think they're going to get mama's attention. Mama don't swoop in and fix it all. I done told y'all that. Around here, my kids know that I'll say, figure it out. Figure it out. And if we get to that third figure it out and Mama has to come in and take control, I just nip it in the bud. If it's fighting over what they're going to watch on TV, we'll turn the TV off. If they're fighting over whose turn it is to sweep the rooms, then everybody's going to do it. I try not to give too much attention to negative behavior. Sometimes we have to, y'all. Sometimes we have to. But my goal is to teach my kids that they will get my attention in positive ways, whether it's taking one of them to the grocery store with me, or inviting one of them to help me with a chore, or inviting one of them to help me with supper, or just sitting down with them and working on their schoolwork, giving them my undivided attention. I want my kids to know that they're going to get Mama's attention through positive experiences instead of negative behaviors. Feelings and need drive behavior. So it's my goal to make their feelings and their needs met through positive experiences so that in turn they don't use negative behavior to try to satisfy those things. I could do a whole nother video and ramble on and on about behavior and consequences, but I'm going to go ahead and end it there. I hope I've been able to give you some tips, some tricks, some tools in dealing with sibling conflict or just dealing with conflict in your own life. I hope you enjoyed spending a minute with me today. I sure enjoyed spending a minute with you. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, join our family. We would love to have you stick around. And don't forget to check out all those other videos in the playlist. We'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.